I'll tell you patches of ballad songs and snatches and dreamy lullaby. My catalog is long through every passion changing, and to your humors changing, I tune my sorrow song. I tune my sorrow song. I'm going sentimental. I'll sigh with you. Oh, sorrow. Maidens cold and stew you good. I'll do so too. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. I'll charm your weary ears with songs of lovers' fears. Unsympathetic tear my cheek made you. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. What if patriotic sentiment is wanted? I've patriotic ballads cut and dried. For where our country's banner may be planted, all other local banners are defied. Our warriors in serried ranks assembled, never quail or conceal it if they do. And I shouldn't be surprised that nations tremble before the mighty troops, the troops of Armanu.
We shouldn't be surprised that nations tremble, tremble with alarm before the mighty troops, the troops of Armanu.
And if you call for a song of the sea, we'll heave the capstan round. For the young heave-ho, the wind is free, her anchors are trim and her helms are lee. Hurrah for the homeward bound.
Yo-ho, heave-ho, hurrah for the homeward bound.
To lay aloft in a howling breeze may tickle a landsman's taste. But the happiest hour a sailor sees is when he's down at an inland town with his Nancy on his knee. Yo-ho! And his arm around her waist.
Then at the capstan off we go, with the fiddler swings us round. With the yo-heave-ho and a round below, hurrah for the homeward bound. With the yo-heave-ho and a round below. Yo-ho, 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 heave-ho, 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 yo-ho.
A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby, and dreamy
Business with Blossom?
I'll tell you. A year ago, I was a member of the Tamanu Town Band. It was my duty to take the cap round for contributions. While discharging this delicate office, I saw Blossom. We loved each other at once, but she was betrothed to her guardian, Nicky, a cheap tailor, and I saw that my suit was hopeless. Overwhelmed with despair, I quitted the town. Judge of my delight when I heard, a month ago, that Nicky had been condemned to death for flirting. I hurried back at once, in the hopes of finding Blossom at liberty to listen to my protestations.
It is true, Nicky was condemned to death for flirting, but he was reprieved at the last moment and raised to the exalted rank of Lord High Executioner under the following remarkable circumstances. meant my best to stay. So he decreed in words succinct that all who flirted lay or wink, unless canoe beyond it should forthwith be beheaded, 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 should forthwith be beheaded. And I expect you'll all agree that he was right to so decree. And I'm right, and you are right, and all is right as right can be.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right as right can be. And all is right as right can be. Right as right can be.
Decree you'll understand was great dismay for your the land, for young and old and shy and bold were equally affected. The youth who winked the roving eye or breathed the non-connubial sigh was thereupon condemned to die. He usually objected, objected, objected. He usually objected. And you'll learn now, as I expect, he was right to so object. And I'm right, and you are right, and everything is right correct.
And you are right, and we are right, and everything is right correct. And everything is quite correct. All is right correct.
And so we straight let out on bail a convict from the county jail whose head was next on some pretext condemned to be mown off and made an headsman, for we said next to be decapitated cannot cut off another's head until he's cut his own off, his own off, his own off, until he's cut his own off. And we are right, I think you'll say, to argue in this kind of way. For I'm right, and you are right, and all is right to lure.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right to lure. And I am right, and we are right, and all is
The Cheap Tailor, Lord High Executioner of Tomanu. Why, that's the highest rank a citizen can attain.
It is. Our logical governor, seeing no moral difference between the dignified judge who condemns a criminal to die and the industrious mechanic who carries out the sentence, has rolled the two offices into one, so that every judge is now his own executioner.
And how good of you, for I see you are a nobleman of the highest rank, to condescend to tell all this to me, a mere strolling minstrel.
Don't mention it. I am, in point of fact, a particularly haughty and exclusive person of pre-Adamite ancestral descent. And you'll understand this when I tell you that I can trace my ancestry back to a protoplasmal, primordial, atomic globule. Consequently, my family pride is something inconceivable. I can't help it. I was born sneering. But I struggle hard to overcome this defect. I mortify my pride continually. When all the great officers of state resigned in a body because they were too proud to serve under an ex-tailor, did I not unhesitatingly accept all the posts at once?
And the salaries attached to them. You did.
It is consequently my degrading duty to serve this upstart as First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chief Justice, Commander-in-Chief, Lord High Admiral, Master of the Buckhounds, Groom of the Backstairs, Archbishop of Tamanu, and Lord Mayor, both acting and elect, all rolled into one, and at a salary, a poobah, paid for his services. I, a salaried minion, but I do it. It revolts me, but I do it.
And it does you credit.
But I don't stop at that. I go and dine with middle-class people on reasonable terms. I dance at cheap suburban parties for a moderate fee. I accept refreshment at any hands, however lowly. And I also retail state secrets at a very low figure. For instance, any further information about Blossom would come under the heading of a state secret. Another insult, and I think a light one. Young man, despair, likewise go to Blossom the fair. You must not woo, it will not do. I'm sorry for you, you very imperfect ablutioner. This very afternoon, Blossom will wend her way and homeward come with a beat, a drum, and a rum-ta-tum to wed the Lord High Executioner. And the brass will sound, and the trumpets bray, and they'll cut and dash on their wedding day. She'll toddle away as all of her with the Lord High Executioner.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets bray, and they'll cut and dash on the wedding day. She'll toddle away as all of her with the Lord High Executioner.
It's a hopeless case, as you may see, and in your place away I'd flee. But don't blame me, I'm sorry to be of your pleasure a diminutioner. They'll vow their pact extremely soon. In point of fact, this afternoon, her honeymoon with that buffoon at 7 commences, so you shall know. And the brass will sound, and the trumpets bray, and they'll cut and dash on their wedding day. She'll toddle away as all of her with the Lord High Executioner.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets bray, and they'll cut and dash on her wedding day. She'll toddle away as all of her with the Lord High Executioner. And have I journeyed for a month or nearly to learn that Blossom, whom I love so dearly, this day to Nicky is to be united.
The facts appear to be as you've recited. But here he comes, equipped as suits his station. He'll give you any further information.
Lord High Executioner, a personage of noble rank and
the county jail. By a set of curious chances, liberated then on bail, on my own recognizances, wafted by a favoring gale, as one sometimes is in trances, to a height that few can scale, save by long and weary dances, surely never had a mail, under such like circumstances, so adventurous a tale, which may rank with most romances. From a county jail, by a set of curious chances, surely never had a man so adventurous a tale.
Defer to the Lord High Executioner. Defer to the noble Lord, to the noble Lord, for the Lord's High Executioner. To the Lord High Executioner. Defer to the noble Lord, the High
I am much touched by this reception. I can only hope that by strict attention to duty, I shall ensure a continuance of those favors which it shall ever be my study to deserve. If I am ever called upon to act professionally, whack, I am happy to think that there will be no trouble in finding plenty of people whose loss will be a distinct gain to society at large. As someday it may happen that the victim must be found, I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed. They never would be missed. There's the people in the audience who let their cell phones ring, or who begin to yawn and snort when I begin to sing. And those who let their wristwatches and pocket beepers burp. And those who think it's in the dark, it's fine to belch and burp. And all latecomers who on spoiling overtures insist, they none of them be missed. They none of them be missed.
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
There's the tenor serenader and the others in his place, and the conductor masochist, yes, Robert's on my list, and the bassists who sing patter songs, spit them in your face. They never would be missed. They never would be missed. Then the director who praises with enthusiastic tone all musicals but this and every talent but my own. And the mezzo from Manhattan who auditions on the fly and who doesn't know Mikado but would rather like to try. And that all too common creature, the sight-reading pianist. I've got her on the list. I'm sure she'd not be missed.
He's got her on the list. He's got her on the list, and I don't think she'll be missed. I'm sure she'll not be missed.
Then the operetta modernist who's getting old folks pissed, the lyric revisionist, I've got me on the list, and those watching opera in cinemas insist, oh, and my proctologist, he's high on my list, and those, and the thoughtless telemarketers who call me during dinner, and the health food advertisers who claim their products make me thinner, New Jerseyites who decorate their lawns with plastic gnomes, and balding men who glue orange strands of hair upon their domes. I'd like to give their wrist a not so very gentle twist, but I think you get the gist. You may put them on your list.
You may put them on the list. You may put them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
Bobby, it seems that the festivities in connection with my approaching marriage must last a week. Now, I'd like to consult with you on the amount I ought to spend on them.
Certainly. In which of my capacities? As First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chamberlain, Attorney General, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Privy Purse, or Private Secretary?
Suppose we say as private secretary.
As your private secretary, I should say, as the city will have to pay for it, don't stint yourself. Do it well.
That is your advice, as the city will have to pay for it.
As private secretary. Of course, you'll understand that as Chancellor of the Exchequer, it is my duty to see that due economy is observed.
Oh, but just now you said, don't stint yourself, do it well.
As private secretary.
And now you say, due economy must be observed.
As Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Well, come over here, brother. Now then, as my solicitor, how do you advise me to deal with this difficulty?
As your solicitor, I should have no hesitation in saying, chance it.
Oh, thank you, I will.
If it were not that, as Lord Chief Justice, I am bound to see that the law is not violated.
Well, come over here where the Chief Justice can. Now then, as First Lord of the Treasury,
As First Lord of the Treasury, I could propose a special vote to cover all expenses. If it were not that, as leader of the opposition, it would be my duty to resist it, tooth and nail. But as Paymaster General, I could so cook the accounts that as Lord High Auditor, I could never discover the fraud. But then, as Archbishop of Tamanu, it would be my duty to denounce my dishonesty and give myself into my own custody as First Commissioner of Police.
this is very awkward.
I don't say that all of these distinguished people couldn't be squared. But it's only right to tell you that they wouldn't feel sufficiently degraded in their own estimation unless they were insulted with a very considerable bribe.
The situation shall have my careful attention. But my sisters, my bride and her sorority sisters, that's a tough line. My bride and her sorority sisters are approaching, and any little gesture on your part would be much appreciated.
No bribe, no gesture.
We
Three little maids from school are we, who as a schoolgirl well can be, filled to the brim with girlish glee. Three little maids from school, everything is a source of fun. Nothing seems like no fun. Life is a joke that's just begun. Three little maids from school. Three little maids who all unwary come from the ladies' seminary. Three from achievements to Tulare. Three little maids from school. Three little maids from school. One little maid is the bride blossom. Two little maids in attendance come. Three little maids is the total sum. Three little maids from school. From three little maids take one away. Two little maids remain and they won't have to wait very long, they say. Three little maids from school. Three little maids from school. Three little maids who all unwary come from the ladies' seminary. Three from achievements to Tulare. Three little maids from school. Three little maids from school.
Ah, my little bride that is to be.
Oh, you're not going to kiss me before all these people.
Well, yes, that was the idea.
It seems odd, doesn't it?
It's rather peculiar. I don't know about that. Must have a beginning, you know.
Well, of course, I know nothing about these things, but I've no objection if it's usual.
Oh, it's quite usual, I think. Eh, Lord Chamberlain?
I have known it done.
Mwah!
Oh, thank goodness that's over. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, I have seen you forever. So bad. And I'm ready to tell the school and the history prize and I've come and I'm not going back anymore.
Pardon me, will you present me?
Oh, this is the musician who used to play
One at a time, if you please.
Oh, this is the musician who used to play so beautifully on the
boardwalk.
Yes, I believe that was the name of the instrument.
Sir, I have the misfortune to love your ward, Blossom. I know I deserve your anger.
Anger? Not a bit, my boy. I love her myself. Pretty little thing, isn't she? Pretty eyes, nice hair, nice teeth. Charming little thing altogether. Glad to have my opinion backed up by a competent authority. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Take him away.
I beg your pardon, but what is this? Customer come to try on.
That is a tremendous swell.
Oh, it's a lie!
Go away, little girl. Go away. Can't talk to little girls like you. There's dears.
Don't mind them. A little gesture, a little bow, a mere nothing. You needn't mean it. Oh, the one in the middle, I present my 3 wards, and the one in the middle is my bride-to-be. Now would you bow to them?
What do you want me to do? Mind you, I will not kiss them.
No, you needn't kiss them. How about that bow?
It goes against the grain. They are not young ladies. They're young persons. I shan't mean it, you know. Howdy do, little girls. Howdy do. My protocols ancestor.
Don't laugh at him. He can't help it. He's under treatment for it.
I see nothing to laugh at. It's very painful to me to have to say, howdy do, little girls, howdy do, to young persons. I am not in the habit of saying, howdy do, little girls, howdy do, to anybody under the rank of a stockbroker.
Stop laughing. Don't mind them. They don't understand the delicacy of your position.
Yes, we know how delicate it is, don't
I
we?
should say we do. How a statesman in your position can do it at all is something I never could, never can understand.
cannot show too much respect toward the highly titled few, but nobody does, so why should you? The youth and us should have its fling. It's hard on us to our prerogative we cling. So pardon us if we decline to dance and sing la 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 la.
But who of course has done it with so pardon us and told him good time is coming on. But who of course must have it sing so pardon us? Tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la. On to the next part.
At last, I have sought you night and day for 3 weeks in the belief that your guardian was beheaded. And now I find you're about to marry him this afternoon?
Alas, yes.
But you don't love him.
Alas, no.
Modified rapture! But why do you not refuse him?
What good would that do? He's my guardian, and he wouldn't let me marry you.
But I would wait until you were of age.
You forget. In Palan, girls do not arrive at years of discretion until they are 50.
True, from 17 to 49 are considered years of indiscretion.
Besides, a wandering minstrel who plays a ukulele on the boardwalk is hardly a fitting husband for the ward of a Lord High Executioner.
Oh, but should I tell her? Yes, she will not betray me. What if it should prove that after all, I am no musician?
I discern of it directly. I heard you play.
What if it should prove that I am no other than the son of His Excellency the Governor?
The son of the governor. But why are you in disguise? And what have you done? And will you promise never to do it again?
Some years ago, I had the misfortune to captivate Harriet, an elderly lady of my father's cabinet. She misconstrued my customary affability into expressions of affection and claimed me in marriage under my father's law. My father ordered me to marry her at once or else perish ignominiously on the scaffold. That night I fled, and assuming the disguise of a backup ukulele, I joined the band in which you found me when I had the pleasure of seeing you.
Oh, if you please, I think you had better not come too near. The laws against flirting are excessively severe.
But we're quite alone and nobody can see us.
Still, that doesn't make it right. To flirt is capital.
It is capital.
And we must obey the law.
Deuce take the law.
I wish it would, but it won't.
If it were not for the law, how happy we might be.
Happy indeed.
We should be sitting side by side. Like that.
Instead of being obliged to sit half a mile off. Like that.
We should be gazing into each other's eyes. Like that.
Breathing sighs of unutterable love. Like that.
With our arms round each other's waists. Like that.
Yes. If it wasn't for the law.
If it wasn't for the law.
As it is, of course, we couldn't do anything of the kind.
Not for worlds.
Being engaged to Nicky, you know.
Being engaged to Nicky.
Were not to Nicky plight, I would say in tender tone, loved one, let us be united, let us be each other's own. I would merge all rank and station, worldly sneers are not to us, and to my admiration, I would kiss you fondly thus. I would kiss you fondly thus.
But as I'm engaged to Nicky, to embrace you would get tricky. For the rules until we're picky, and the outcome would get icky.
Icky.
Icky. Icky. Icky. Icky. Icky. Icky.
So, in spite of all
thus. Let me make this clear to you. This is what I'll never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this. This is what I'll never, never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this. This is what I'll never do. I'll never do. Oh this, this is what I'll never, never do.
There she goes. To think how entirely my future happiness is wrapped up in that little parcel. Why, it hardly seems worthwhile. Oh, matrimony! To be married or not to be married, that is... Now, what is it? Can't you see I'm soliloquizing? You've interrupted an apostrophe, sir.
I bear a message from His Excellency the Governor.
A message from the governor? What in the world can he have to say to me? Oh. Oh, no. Here it is at last. I thought it would happen sooner or later. The governor is struck by the fact that no executions have taken place in Tamanuk for over a year. And declares that the rank of Lord High Executioner shall be abolished and the city reduced to the rank of a village.
That would involve us all with irretrievable ruin.
Yes, there's no help for it. I shall have to execute somebody at once. The only question is, who shall it be?
Well, it seems unkind to say so, but as you were already under sentence of death for flirting, everything seems to point to you.
To me? What do you mean? I can't execute myself.
Why not?
Why not? Because in the first place, self-decapitation is an extremely difficult, not to say dangerous thing to attempt. And in the second, it's suicide. And suicide is a capital offense.
That is so, no doubt.
We might reserve that point.
True, it could be argued 6 months hence before the full court.
Besides, I don't see how a man can cut off his own head.
A man might try.
Even if you only succeeded in cutting it half off, that would be something.
It will be seen as an earnest of your desire to comply with the judicial will.
No, there I am adamant. As official headsman, I can't consent to a professional operation unless I see my way to a successful result.
This professional profession certainly is very commendable on your part, but it places us in an extremely awkward position.
My good sir, the awkwardness of your position is grace itself, compared with that of a man engaged in the act of cutting off his own head.
I'm sorry, but unless you find a substitute,
A substitute? A substitute? Bobby, I appoint you Lord High Substitute.
I should be delighted. Such an appointment would realize my fondest dreams. But no. At any sacrifice, I must set bounds to my insatiable ambitions. I am so proud, if I allowed my family pride to be my guide, I'd volunteer to quit this sphere instead of you in a minute or two. But family pride must be denied and set aside and mortified and mortified.
My brain it teems with endless schemes, both good and new for Tamanuk. But if I flick the benefit that I should use, the town would lose. Now every man to his clan should plot and plan as best he can.
I heard one day a gentleman say the criminals who are caught in two can hardly feel the fatal steel, and so are slain without much pain. If this is true, it's jolly for you, your courage slew to bid us adieu.
I am so proud.
My brain is tears within the schemes for good and good for Tammany. But if I think the benefit that I did, the town must be here. Now every man who made his way is brought to my life as he can. And so, although I'm ready to go, yet recollect we're disrespected, I neglect to thus effect this ain't direct, so I object.
And so, although I wish to go, and bring me high to brightly shine, and take the line of a hero fine, with grief condign, I must recline.
And go and show both friend and foe how much you dare. I'm quite aware it's your affair, yet I declare I take your share, but I don't much care.
So I object.
Your share, but I don't.
So I object.
Your share, but I don't.
So I object.
Your share, but I don't.
So I object.
I don't much care.
So I object. To citizens outside
in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock, through a chippy choppy on a big black block.
To citizens outside in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock, through a chippy chopper on a big black block. Dull, dark dock, a lifelong lock, a short, sharp shock, a big black block. 2 seconds solemn silence in a pestilential prison while awaiting the sensation of a chippy chopper on a big black block. This is simply appalling. I, who allowed myself to be respited at the last moment simply to benefit my native town, am now required to die within a month, and that by a man whom I have loaded with honors. Is this public gratitude? Oh, that this all too solid flesh, oh, what are you doing with that robe?
I'm about to terminate an unendurable existence.
Terminate your existence? Nonsense, what for?
Because you are about to marry the girl I adore.
Nonsense, sir, I will not permit it. I am a humane man, and if you attempt anything of the sort, I shall summon my guards. Now, desist at once.
That's absurd. If you order my arrest, I instantly perform the happy dispatch with this dagger.
No, no, stop it. Be reasonable. Are you cold-blooded scoundrel? Are you aware that in taking your own life, you are committing a crime which is punishable by... crime? Substitute.
What's
Is
the
it
matter?
absolutely certain that you are resolved to die?
Absolutely.
Will nothing whatever shake your resolution?
Nothing.
Threats, entreaties, prayers, all useless?
All. My mind is made up.
Then, if you really mean what you say, and if nothing will shake your resolution, then don't spoil yourself by committing suicide, but be beheaded handsomely at the hands of the public executioner.
I don't see how that would benefit me.
You don't? Observe. You'll have a month to live, and you'll live like Donald Trump at my expense. When the day comes, there'll be a grand public ceremonial. You'll be the central figure. No one will attempt to deprive you of that distinction. There'll be bands, Dead March. All the girls in tears, blossom distracted. And when it's all over, general rejoicing and a display of fireworks in the evening. You won't see them, but they'll be there all the same.
Do you think Blossom would really be distracted at my death?
Oh, I'm convinced of it, bless my heart. She's the most tender little creature alive.
I should hate to cause her pain. Perhaps if I were to withdraw from Milan and travel in America for a couple of years, I might contrive to forget her.
Oh, I don't think you could forget Blossom. And in other words, what is so miserable as a life-blighted life?
True.
Life without blossom, it's absurd.
Yes, but then again, there are a great many number of people who have to endure it.
Poor blighters. You're quite right not to be of their number.
I won't be of their number.
Noble fellow!
I'll tell you how we'll manage it. You let me marry Blossom tomorrow, and in a month you may behead me.
No, I draw the line at
Very well.
Blossom.
You can draw the line, so can I.
But hang it all, stop a bit. Be reasonable. How can I consent to your marrying Blossom if I'm going to marry her myself?
My good fellow, she'll be a widow in a month, and you can marry her then.
Oh yes, I quite see that. Oh, but dear me. My position during the next month would be most unpleasant. Most unpleasant.
Not half so unpleasant as my position at the end of it.
Well, oh dear me. All right, I consent. After all, it's only putting off my marriage for a month. But see here, you won't prejudice her against me, will you? You see, she's been raised to consider me a wise and good man. Now, I shouldn't like her views on that point disturbed.
Oh, trust me, she'll never learn the truth from me.
Ah. Congratulate me, gentlemen, I found a volunteer.
A Polynesian equivalent of here, here, here.
'Tis Christopher.
Hail, Christopher.
He'll do, I'm sure.
Yes, yes, for sure.
He yields his life if I Blossom surrender. Now I adore that girl with passion tender, and could not yield her with a ready will, or her a lot, if I did not adore myself with passion tender still, with passion tender still.
Ah, yes, he loves himself with passion tender still.
Take her, she's yours.
The threatened cloud has passed away.
Bright shines the dawn of day.
What though the night may come too soon?
Still the month of afternoon.
Then let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. Then let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shouting, ringing cheer. Inaugurate the brief career. Joyous shouting, ringing cheer. Inaugurate the brief career. Joyous shouting, ringing cheer.
A day, a week, a month, a year. The farmer's here.
Life's eventide comes much too soon.
Leave at least a honeymoon.
Let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. And let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shouting, ringing cheer. Inaugurate the brief career. Joyous
die if Nicky tells us true. 'Twere empty compliment to cry long life to you know who. But as 1 month you have to live as fellow citizen, this toast with 3 times 3 we'll give. Long life to you, long life to you, long life to you. Till then.
May all good fortune, all good fortune prosper you. May you have health, may you have health and riches. May all good fortune prosper you. May you have health and riches.
Your LCs, assist me, all of you.
Why do we twist whose evil eyes rain blight on our festivities?
I claim my perjured lover, Christopher. Oh, fool to shun delight, which never cloyed.
Only the empty word undone.
Come back, oh shallow fool, come back to joy.
Away, away, ill-favored one.
Ah, 'tis Harriet, the maid of whom I told you.
No, you shall not go. These arms shall thus enfold you. Oh, fool that fleest these hallowed joys, oh, blind that seest no echoing voice, oh, rash that judgest from half the whole, oh, base that grudgest love's widest door. Thy heart unbind, oh fool, oh blind. Give me my place, oh rash, oh base. Thy heart unbind, give me my place, oh fool, oh blind, oh rash, oh base. Thy heart unbind, give me my place.
If she's thy bride, restore her place. Oh fool, oh blind, oh rash, oh base.
Pink cheek that rulest where wisdom serves, bright eye that burnest and robed nerves, rose lip that scornest lolling years, smooth tongue that warnest who rightly hears, thy
surprising. How foil my foe? No minstrel he, despite bravado.
I know.
He is the son of your welcome to our paradise. In vain you interrupt with this tornado. He is the only son of your welcome to our paradise. I'll spawn. Welcome to our paradise. King Mikado, he is the son.
why it is that I am so much more attractive than anybody else in the whole world. Could this be vanity? No. Nature is lovely and rejoices in her loveliness. I am a child of nature and take after my mother. The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty, he scorns to tell a story. He don't exclaim, I blush for shame, so kindly be indulgent, but fierce and bold and fiery gold, he glories all effulgent. I mean to rule the earth as he the sky. We really know the sun and I mean to rule the earth as he the sky. We really know our worth, the sun and I. Observe his flame, the placid dame, the moon's celestial highness. There's not a trace upon her face of diffidence or shyness. She borrows light that through the night mankind may all claim her. And truth to tell, she lights up well, so I for one don't blame her. Oh, pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and I. Oh, pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and I. Everything seems to smile upon me. I am to be married today to the man that I love best, and I believe I'm the happiest girl in Pilon.
The happiest girl indeed, for she is indeed to be envied who has attained happiness in all but perfection.
In all but perfection?
Well, dear, it can't be denied that the fact that your husband is to be headed in a month is, in its way, a drawback. It does seem to take the top off it, you know.
I don't know about that. It all depends.
At all events, he will find it a drawback.
Not necessarily. Bless you, it all depends. I think it very indelicate of you to refer to such a subject on such a day. If my marital happiness is to be
Cut short.
well, cut short in a month. Can't you let me forget it?
Blossom in tears, and on her wedding morn.
David reminded me that in a month you are to be beheaded. Yes, we've been reminding her that you're to be beheaded.
It's quite true, you know. You are to be
Some bridegrooms would be depressed by this sort of thing. A month? What's a month? These divisions of time are purely arbitrary. Who says 24 hours make a day?
There's a popular impression to that effect.
Then we'll efface it. We'll call each second second an hour, each hour a day, each day a year. At that rate, we've 30 years of married happiness before us.
And at that rate, this interview has already lasted 4 hours and 3/4.
Yes, how time flies when one is thoroughly enjoying oneself.
That's the spirit. Don't be downtrodden. There is a silver lining to every cloud.
Certainly. Let's be perfectly happy.
But by all means, let's totally enjoy ourselves.
It's absurd to cry.
Quite ridiculous. Brightly dawns our wedded day. Joyous Lord, we give thee greeting. Whither art thou fleeting? Fickle moment, prithee stay. Fickle moment, prithee stay.
What though mortal joys be hollow?
Pleasures come if sorrows follow. Though the tocsin sound along, the tocsin sound along. Ding dong, ding dong. Yet until the shadows fall over one and over all, sing a merry madrigal, sing a merry madrigal, sing a merry madrigal. Fa la fa la fa la fa Let us dry the ready tear, though the odds are surely creeping, little for woeful weeping, till the sad sundown is near, till the sad sundown is near.
All must sip the cup of sorrow.
I today and thou tomorrow. This the close of every song. This the close of every song. This the close of every song. Ding dong, ding dong.
What
Though solemn shadows fall,
on, don't mind me.
I'm afraid we're distressing you.
No, I must learn to get used to it. Only please, do it by degrees. Begin by putting your arm around her waist.
Like this?
Yes, I'm much obliged.
Oh, wouldn't you like to retire? It must distress you to see us so affectionate together.
No, I must learn to endure it. Now, please allow her head to rest on your shoulder.
Like this?
Like that. Oh, it's simple torture. Now, kiss her. Simple torture.
Oh, come. Bear up. After all, it's only for a month.
No, it's no use deluding oneself with false hopes.
What do you mean?
It's no use. I never can be yours.
Oh, I'm so glad!
I have just ascertained that by the governor's law, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
Buried alive?
Buried alive. It's a most unpleasant death.
But who did you get this from?
Oh, from Bobby. He's my solicitor.
Oh, but he may be mistaken.
So I thought. So I consulted with the learned judge, the notary of Ploverly, the first lord of the Admiralty, and the major general. They were all of the same opinion. Never knew such unanimity in a point of law in my life.
But stop a bit. This law has never been put in effect.
Not yet. You see, flirting is the only crime punishable by decapitation, and married men never flirt.
Of course they don't. I quite forgot. Well, I may assume that my dream of happiness is at an end.
Darling.
Yes?
I don't want to appear selfish, and I love you with all my heart. I don't suppose I shall ever love anybody else half as much. But when I agreed to marry you, my own, I had no idea that I should have to be buried alive in a month!
Nora, it's the very first I've heard of it.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does make a difference, of course.
You see, burial alive, it's such a stuffy death!
I call it a beast of a death.
You see my difficulty, don't you?
Yes, and I see my own. If I insist on you carrying out your promise, I doom you to a hideous death. If I release you...
You marry Nicky at once.
Here's howdy-do, if I marry you. When your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's a howdy-do, here's a howdy-do.
Here's a pretty mess. In a month or less, I must die without a wedding. Let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess. Here's a pretty mess.
Here's the state of things. To her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion. Burial it brings. Here's the state of things. Here's the state of things.
With a passionate intent they worship and adore, but the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If one to say is two, 'tis death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things. A pretty state of things.
Here's a howdy-do.
Here's a howdy-do.
Here's a howdy-do.
For if what he says is true, I cannot marry you. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do.
Oh, my dear boy, I'm really very sorry for you. I can't imagine anything more distressing than having one's wedding cut off. But you shan't be disappointed of a wedding. You shall come to mine.
Oh, that's quite kind of you, but I'm afraid it's impossible.
How so?
Today I die.
What do you mean?
I can't live without Blossom. This afternoon I perform the Happy Dispatch.
Nonsense. You can't do that. There's a line here.
Why not?
Thank you. Why not? Because, hang it all, you're under contract to die at the hand of the executioner in a month's time. If you commit suicide, what's to become of me? shall have to be executed in your place.
It would certainly seem so.
Now then, Chancellor, what is it?
The governor and his staff are approaching the city, and they'll be here in 10 minutes.
The governor, he's coming to see whether his orders have been attended to. Now see here, this is getting serious. As a man of honor and a gentleman, you're bound to die ignominiously at the hands of the executioner.
Very well. Behead me.
What? Now?
Certainly.
Chop
At
it off!
once.
Chop it off!
Yes, sir, I don't go about prepared to execute gentlemen at a moment's notice. I don't know how it's done. I'm going to take lessons. I mean to start with a guinea pig and work my way through the animal kingdom until I come to a substitute tenor. Why? I don't think as a humane man I would have accepted the post of Lord High Executioner if I hadn't thought that the post was purely nominal. I can't kill you. I can't kill anybody. I can't kill anything.
Come now, my poor fellow. We all have unpleasant duties to discharge at times. After all, what is it? If I don't mind, why should you? Remember, sooner or later it must be done.
Must it? I'm not so sure of that.
What do you mean?
Why should I kill you when making an affidavit that you've been killed will do just as well? Here are plenty of witnesses. The Lord Chancellor, the Grand Inquisitor, the Grand Duke, and the Acting Attorney General.
But where are they all?
Here they they'll all swear to it, won't you?
Am I to understand that all of us high officers of state are required to perjure ourselves in order to ensure your safety? Of course.
You'll be grossly insulted as usual.
Will the insult be cash down or at a date? I only accept PayPal and Apple Pay.
It will be a ready money transaction.
Well, it'll be a useful discipline. Very good. Choose your fiction, and I'll endorse it. Family pride. How do you like that, my buck?
But I tell you that life without Blossom...
Oh, Blossom, schmossum, Father Blossom. Here, Commissioner, go and fetch Blossom. Now, take Blossom and marry Yum Yum, Blossom, and go away and never come back again. Ah, here she is. Blossom, are you particularly busy right now?
Not particularly.
Have you 5 minutes to spare?
Yes?
Then toddle away with His Grace the Chief Rabbi of Tamanu, and he'll marry you at once.
But if I'm to be buried alive...
Oh, never mind. Don't ask any questions. But go away and do as you're told.
But just one moment!
Don't ask any questions. Here he comes, and if he finds you alive, I shall have the greatest difficulty in convincing him that I beheaded you. Oh, close thing that, for here he comes.
From every kind of man obedience I expect. I'm the governor of her land.
And I'm his daughter-in-law elect. He'll marry his son. He's only got one. To his daughter-in-law elect.
My morals have been declared particularly correct.
But they're
In a fatherly kind of way, I govern each tribe and sect, all cheerfully own my sway.
Except his daughter-in-law elect, as tough as a bone with the will of her own, is his daughter-in-law elect.
My nature is love and light, my freedom from all defect
Is insignificant quite compared with his daughter-in-law elect. Bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect. A more humane governor never did in Palan exist. To nobody second man certainly reckoned a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to make to some extent each evil liver a running river of harmless merriment. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. All prosy, dull society chillers who scatter and greet and bore are sent to hear sermons from mystical Germans who preach from 10 till 4. The amateur tenor whose vocal villainies all desire to shirk shall during off hours exhibit his powers to Madame Tussauds waxwork. The lady who dyes a chemical yellow or stains her grey-haired puce is made to wear feathers in all the worst weathers. Allegedly labeled goose, the idiot who in railway carriages scribbles on window panes. We only suffer to ride on a buffer in New Jersey transit trains. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
The advertising quack who weighs with tales of countless cures, his teeth I've enacted shall all be extracted by terrified amateurs. The music hall singer attends a series of masses and fugues and ops, by Bach into Woven with Schmor and Beethoven and classical Monday pops. The billiard sharp who anyone catches his dooms extremely hard, he's made to dwell in a dungeon cell on a spot that's always barred, and there he plays extravagant matches in fitless finger stalls on a cloth untrue with a twisted cue, an elliptical billiard balls. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make his prisoners pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
am honored in being permitted to welcome Your Excellency. Your Honor's wishes have taken place. The execution has happened.
Oh, you've had an execution, have you?
Yes. The coroner has just handed me his certificate.
I'm the coroner.
And this is the certificate of his death. At Tamanu, in the presence of the Lord Chancellor, Lord Chief Justice, Acting Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Lord Mayor, and groom of the second floor front.
They were all present, Your Excellency. I counted them myself.
A very good house. I wish I'd been in time for the performance.
Oh, he was a man of gigantic strength. His struggles were terrific. It was really a remarkable scene.
Describe it.
The criminal cried as he dropped him down in a state of wild alarm. With a frightful, frantic, fearful frown, I bared my big right arm. I seized him by his little man bun, and on his knees fell he. As he squirmed and struggled and gurgled and guggled, I drew my snicker snee. My snicker snee. Oh, never shall I forget the cry or the shrieked he, as I gnashed my teeth when from its sheath I drew my snicker snee.
We know it will, he cannot tell how true or groundless tales. He always tries to utter lies, and every time he fails.
He shivered and shook as he gave the sign for the stroke he did deserve. But when all of a sudden his eye met mine, and it seemed to brace his nerve, for he nodded his head and kissed his hand, and he whistled and added he, as the saber true cut cleanly through his cervical vertebrae. His vertebrae. When a man is afraid, a beautiful maid is a cheering sight to see. And it's so I'm glad that moment sad was soothed by sight of me.
He tickled till he cracked the cell, with truth it quite agrees. The taste exact for faultless fact amounts to a disease.
Now, though you'd have said that head was dead, for its owner dead was he. It stood on its neck, the smile well bred, and bowed 3 times to me. It was none of your impudent offhand nods, but as humble as could be. For it clearly knew that deference due to a man of pedigree. And oh, I vow that deathly bow was a touching sight to see. Though trunkless yet, it couldn't forget the deference due to me.
This haughty youth, he speaks the truth whenever he finds it pays. And in this case, it all took place exactly as he says. Exactly as he says.
Very interesting, and I should like to have seen it, but we came about a totally different matter. A year ago, my son, the most eligible bachelor in Palan, bolted from the governor's mansion.
Indeed, had he any reason to be dissatisfied with his position?
None whatever. On the contrary, I was going to marry him. Yet he fled.
I was surprised that he fled from one so lovely.
That's not true.
No.
You hold that I am not beautiful because my face is plain. But you know nothing. You are unenlightened. Learn then that it is not in the face alone where beauty is to be sought. My face is unattractive.
It is.
But I have a left shoulder blade that is a miracle of loveliness. People come miles to see it. On my right elbow holds a fascination few can resist.
Allow me.
It is on view Tuesdays and Fridays upon presentation of visiting card or through Facebook invitation. As for my circulation, it is the largest in the world.
And yet he fled.
And is now masquerading in this town disguised as a backup ukulele.
A backup ukulele.
Yes. Would it be troubling you too much if I asked you to produce him? He goes by the name of
Christopher.
Christopher.
Oh yes, it's really very easy. Oh, in point of fact, it's rather difficult. In point of fact, he's gone abroad.
Gone abroad? His address?
Staten Island?
Oh, what's the matter?
See here, his name, Christopher, beheaded this morning. Oh, where shall I find another? Where shall I find another?
Dear, 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 this is very tiresome. My good fellow, in your anxiety to carry out my wishes, you have beheaded the most eligible bachelor in Palan.
We would wish to offer an unqualified apology.
I desire to associate myself with that expression of regret.
We really hadn't the least notion.
Of course you hadn't. How could you? Come, come, my good fellow, don't distress yourself. If a man of exalted rank chooses to disguise himself as a backup ukulele, he must take the consequences. It really distresses me to see you take on so. I've no doubt he thoroughly deserved all he got.
We are infinitely obliged to your honor.
Much obliged, Your Honor.
Very much obliged, your lordship.
Obliged? Not a bit. Don't mention it. How could you tell?
Of course, we couldn't tell who the gentleman really was.
It's not like it was written on his forehead, you know.
It might have been on his pocket handkerchief, but Palanese don't use pocket handkerchiefs.
I forget the punishment for compassing the death of the most eligible bachelor in Palan.
Punishment?
Yes. Something lingering with boiling oil, I fancy. Something of that sort. I think boiling oil occurs in it, but I'm not sure. I know it's something humorous, but lingering with either boiling oil or melted lead. Come, come, don't fret. I'm not the least bit angry.
If your majesty will accept our assurance, we really had no idea.
I knew nothing.
I wasn't there.
Of course. Unfortunately, the fool of an act says, compassing the death of the most eligible bachelor in Palan. There's not a word about a mistake.
No.
Or not knowing.
No.
Or having no notion.
No.
Or not being there.
No.
There should be, of course.
Yes.
But there isn't. That's the slovenly way in which these acts are always drawn. However, cheer up, it'll be all right. I'll have it altered. Next session. Now then, let's see about your execution. Will after luncheon suit you? Can you wait till then?
Oh,
Yes.
We
Can wait till then.
Then we'll make it after luncheon.
I don't want any lunch.
I'm really very sorry for you all, but it's an unjust world, and virtue is triumphant only in theatrical performances. See how the fates their gifts allot, for A is happy, B is not, yet B is worthy, I dare say, of more prosperity than A.
Is more worthy, I should say, he's worth a great deal more than A.
Yet A is happy, oh so happy, laughing, ha ha, shouting, ha ha, nectar quaffing, ha ha ha, ever joyous, ever gay, happy, undeserving A, ever joyous, ever gay, happy, undeserving A. If I were fortune, which I'm not, B should enjoy A's happy lot, and A should die in misery. That is assuming I am B. But should A perish, that of course assuming I am B. We should be happy, oh so happy, laughing, ha ha, shouting, ha ha, nectar quaffing, ha ha ha, but condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious be, but condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious be.
Mess you got us into. What with your nodding head and a man of pedigree.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bald and unconvincing narrative.
Corroborative detail indeed. Corroborative fiddlesticks.
Oh, and you're just as bad as he is. What with his catching in air, whistling in air, and you catching his eye. Oh, but that's just like you. You must always put in your oar.
Yeah, but how about your big right arm?
Oh yes, and your snicker-snee.
Oh, well, never mind all that. There's only one thing to be done. Nanky Poo must, Christopher, his name is in this show. Christopher must come back to life at once. He hasn't left yet. Oh, there he is. How convenient. Christopher, I've good news for you. You've been reprieved.
Ah, but it's too late. I'm a dead man, and I'm off on my honeymoon.
But a terrible thing has happened. It appears that you're the son of His Excellency, the Governor.
Yes, but that happened some time ago.
Is this any time for every persiflage? Your father is here, and with Harriet.
My father? And with Harriet?
Yes, he wants you particularly.
So does she.
But he's married now.
Oh, but my good girl, what has that got to do with it?
Harriet claims me in marriage, but I can't marry her because I'm married already. Consequently, she will insist on my execution. And if I'm executed, my wife will have to be buried alive.
You see our difficulty.
There's one hope for you. If you could convince Harriet to marry you, she would have no further claim over me, in which case I could come to life without any fear of being put to death.
I marry Harriet?
I really think it is the only course.
My good girl, have you seen her? She's something appalling.
That's only her face. She has a left elbow, which people come from miles to see.
I am told that her right heel is much admired by connoisseurs.
My good sir, I decline to pin my hopes on any woman's right heel.
It comes down to this. While Harriet is single, I prefer to be a disembodied spirit. When Harriet is married, existence will be as welcome as the flowers in spring. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, breathe promise of merry sunshine. As we merrily dance and we sing, tra-la, we welcome the hope that they bring, tra-la, of a summer of roses and wine, of a summer of roses and wine. And that's what we mean when we say that a thing is welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do with the case. I've got to take under my wing, tra-la, a most unattractive old thing, tra-la, with a caricature of a face, with a caricature of a face. And that's what I mean when I say, or I sing. Oh, bother the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. Bother the flowers of spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. Tra-la-la-la-la-la.
Alone, and yet alive. Oh, sepulchre, my soul is still my body's prisoner. Remote the peace that death alone can give. My doom to wait, my punishment to live. Hearts do not break, they sting and ache for old love's sake, but do not die. For with each breath I long for death, as witnesseth the living eye, the living eye. Oh, living eye, come tell me why, when hope has gone, dost thou stay on? Why linger here where all is dream? Oh, living eye, come tell me why, when hope is gone, dost thou stay on? May not a cheated maiden die. May not a cheated maiden
Harriet!
Oh, it's you, the miscreant who robbed me of my love. But vengeance pursues. They are heating the cauldron.
Harriet! Behold, a suppliant at your feet. Harriet, mercy!
Mercy? Had you mercy on him? See here, you have slain my love. True, he did not love me, but he would have loved me in time. I am an acquired taste. Only the educated palate can appreciate me. I was educating his palate when he left me. So, where shall I find another? Am I to go through the weary rounds again, while at the same time implore mercy for you, who robbed me of my friend? I mean my pupil, just as his education was at the point of completion? Oh, where shall I find another?
Here!
What?
Harriet, for years I have loved you with a white-hot passion, which is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals. Shrink not from me. True it is that under a poor mask of disgust, I have endeavored to conceal the passion, which is slowly but surely boiling the oil, no, broiling the soul within me. But the fire will not be extinguished. It defies all attempts at extinction, and, breaking forth all the more eagerly for its long restraint, declares itself that will not be schooled, that should not be too severely criticized. Harriet, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it. Darling,
You, who reek with the blood of my betrothed, dare speak words of passion to the woman you have so foully wronged.
I do. Accept my love, or I perish on the spot.
Go to. Who knows so well as I that no one ever yet died of a broken heart?
You know not what you say. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow, tit willow. And I said to him, Titty bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit willow, tit willow? Is it weakness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or a rather tough worm in your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit willow, tit willow. And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He sobbed and he sighed, and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave, and an echo arose from the suicide's grave. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. Now I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't willow, tit willow, tit willow. That was blighted affection that made him exclaim, Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. And if you remain calloused and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why. Though I probably shall not exclaim as I die. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow.
Did he really die of love?
He really did.
All on account of a cruel little hen?
Yes.
Oh, poor little chap.
Yes, it's an affecting tale and quite true. I knew the bird intimately.
Did you? Oh, he must have been very fond of her.
Oh, his devotion was something extraordinary.
Oh, poor little chap. And if I refuse you, will you go and do the same?
At once!
No, you mustn't anything but that. I'm a silly little goose.
Oh, you are.
And you won't hate me just because I'm a teensy-weensy bit bloodthirsty, will you?
Hate you, Harriet? Is there not beauty even in bloodthirstiness?
My idea exactly. There's
see a tiger from the Congo or the Niger, and especially with the lashing of his tail.
The volcanoes have a splendor that is green, and earthquakes only terrify the dunce. But to him who's scientific, there is nothing that's terrific in the falling of a flight of thunderbolts.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts. If that is so, sing Derry down, Derry and Derry, Derry on taste our one. Away we'll go and merrily, merry, no troubling, Derry till day is done. There is beauty in extreme old age. Do you fancy you are elderly enough? Information I'm requesting on a subject interesting. Is the maiden all the better when she's tough?
Ooh, have the right dominion, it's the general opinion that she'll last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic and a ruin that's romantic. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the matter that you mention, I have given some attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed.
If that is so, sing Derry and Derry and seven and Derry our ratings are one. Away we'll go and merrily, merry, no tardily, Derry till day is done. If that is so, sing Derry down, Derry and seven and Derry our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily, merry, no tardily, Derry till day is done. Sing Derry down, Derry and seven and merry, no tardily, Derry till day is done.
Now then, we've had a capital luncheon and we're quite ready. Have all the painful preparations been made?
Your Excellency, all is prepared.
Then produce the unfortunate gentleman and his two well-meaning but misguided accomplices.
Mercy! Mercy for Nicky! Mercy for Lily! Mercy even for Bobby!
I beg pardon, I don't think I caught that remark.
Mercy, even for Bobby.
Mercy! My husband that was to have been is dead, so I have just married this miserable object.
Oh, you've not been long about it.
We were married before the registrar.
I am the registrar.
I see. But my difficulty is that as you have slain the most eligible bachelor in Palan.
The most eligible bachelor in Palan is not slain.
Oh, bless my heart, my son.
And your daughter-in-law elected.
Oh, traitor! You have deceived me!
I think you are entitled to a little explanation, but I think you will give it better hold than it's easy.
Your Excellency, it's like this. It is true that I had stated that I had killed Christopher.
Yes, with most affecting particulars.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic...
Will you refrain from putting in your oar? Your Excellency, it's like this. Your Excellency's will is law, so when Your Excellency says, let a thing be done, why, it practically is done. It is done because Your Excellency's will is law. Your Excellency says, take a gentleman off and kill him. Consequently, that gentleman is as good as dead. Practically, he is dead. And if he is dead, why not say so?
I see. Nothing could possibly be more satisfactory.
For he's gone and married Blossom. Your anger peg Mary, for all will be merry. I think you had better succumb.
Come.
And join our expressions of grief.
On this subject, I pray you be dumb. Your notions, though many, are not worth a penny. The word for your guidance is mum. You've a very good bargain in me.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. We think you had better succumb. Come. You'll find there are many who went for a penny, who went for a penny.
away.
Brightly shines the dawn day.
Though the night may come too soon,
Still the afternoon.
Then let the throng of joy dance with laughing song and merry dance. Let the throng of joy dance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate your new burger. With joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate your new burger. Joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate your new burger.
Laughing song and merry dance. Laughing song and merry dance.
With song
Ridgewood, Gilbert, and Sullivan. Let's hear it for our orchestra tonight. Secretly hiding here and coaching us in case we forgot a word or something is our director, Nancy. Robert is waiting something for it. Oh, there he is. We consider these shows our home shows. And as I stated before the show, we're 80 years old. So now if there is anyone in this audience who has ever been a GNS member, or has ever sung with us, or would like to stand and acknowledge their participation in GNS, please do so, because we are going to give you a chorus of Hail Poetry.
Okay.
Ooh,